One way or another, I'm gonna find ya. The song trailed off for a moment while he pushed a large trash bin with one hand and carried a spade in the other. I will drive by your house. It had been on repeat in his head since he finally started to put his plan into action. He thought of nothing else for months. He pushed the bin until he got to the right spot. There was no light, nor could there be. Everything had to be done in the dead of night under the cover of complete darkness. The moon wasn't even out. He had been there before, sectioned off the perfect plot, and then counted the steps it took to get to the patch from his car. It was slower without light, but he could get it down. He had worked in worse conditions. With his foot, he felt for the tape he used to mark the spot. Once he found it, he stepped on the other side. One way, the song trailed off into a hum. Time to dig, he whispered to himself. The man, under the veil of darkness, knelt and stuck the spade into the dirt, over and over again, until the hole got deeper and deeper. It wasn't as wide as he wanted, but it would do. Beads of sweat rolled down his face. The droplets were caught by the black mask he wore. He wanted to be careful not to leave anything of himself behind. Once the hole was dug, he shoved his hand in it until he reached the bottom of the hole. That should do it. Gingerly, he rose to his feet and opened the bin. A bag of lime was on top. It was supposed to neutralize the smell. He wasn't sure if it would work, but he thought it was a good idea to use it, just in case. He dumped part of the bag inside the hole. The white, powdery substance illuminated the hole, making it easier to do the next step. With a gloved hand, he lifted the first bag out of the bin and dumped it in the hole. A soft, wet sound rippled through the backyard. He paused for a moment to see if anyone heard it. After a long pause, he picked up another and dumped it in. As he held it over the hole, a soft tearing sound brought his attention to the bottom of the bag. He dropped the bag into the hole before its contents spilled all over the grass. He hurriedly dropped the rest of the bags in. He had to bend over the bin and stretch to get to the last bag. His fingers closed around an ankle and he yanked it out of the bin before he and it both tipped over. The extremity was wrapped in the plastic bag, but he still knew what it was. He dumped it in the hole and then poured more lime over them. That bag opening up could contaminate the groundwater, he thought. His lips curled into a smile. It was a stupid thing to think about after what he had done and continued to do. He shoveled the dirt back over the hole and patted it down to make sure everything was covered. Satisfied, he put the bin and shovel back in the garage and went inside to take a shower. When the sun peeked out over the trees, he was already awake. He had been for hours, concocting a plan that would make what he had done even more difficult to discover. Later that day, he gathered his materials and set to work on a patio. The cement tiles were perfect for the backyard, and the neighborhood kids, along with his son, could play on it. It would be perfect. All would be well, and they could go back to being the perfect family. He smiled at the thought. A neighbor waved. His hand with the shovel shot in the air. "What are you doing over there?" "Building a patio, and thinking about building a fire pit with it. When we do, we'll have you guys over for drinks." "That sounds great." He grinned. "Perfect."